Alright then. Alright then, let's see what's new on the internet. Wait, what's this? That's interesting. Gunn has made some good movies in the past, and DC does need a course correction. You know, this could work. I mean, that was cool. A bit much like Guardians, but still watchable. Yeah, that was, What?
Yes, they definitely go significantly further than Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So now, you know, whether or not that'll be me that's able to fulfill that promise depends on a lot of things in life. But yeah.
After less than a year of launching, I think we can all agree that James Gunn's DC universe is going to end. Only 3 projects in, and it seems everyone feels fatigued. The only people who don't seem to be are the Gunn fanboys who defend everything he does no matter how good or bad, but let's be real, it appears they are in the minority now. Every day you look online, whether it be Twitter or YouTube, you can feel the hype around Gunn's DC universe begin to fade. I think for most people, myself included, when it was announced that Gunn was going to be taking over the DC brand and creating a whole new studio, and was going to be the spearhead of an all-new rebooted DC universe, we all thought, this could work. Gunn is obviously a big comic fan who knows a lot. He's worked on other big successful comic book movies, such as the Guardians trilogy. Sure, why not? He's a good pick. Oh, how we should have known.
No. Wait.
Let's go back and look at the official timeline of when Gunn first announced his plan for the DC universe, and see where all the projects are now. Creature Commandos has been released. It was okay. A bit of the same old Guardians feeling Gunn, but it was still decent. The Waller series, starring Viola Davis, seems to still be in active development at the time of recording this video. Superman has already come out, and let's be honest, wasn't the success they were hoping for, even though they say otherwise. Lanterns is coming out next year on HBO. The Authority has been put on the back burner, as Gunn said in an interview earlier this year. Paradise Lost, a series about the Amazonians connected to Wonder Woman, is slowly moving forward, with the Wonder Woman film being pushed to the front. More on that later. Booster Gold, haven't heard anything. Supergirl is coming out next summer. We'll see how good that does. If Superman couldn't make money, I doubt Supergirl could, but we'll see. With Swamp Thing, Gunn said it's still coming, but again, like other projects, we'll see. And finally, we have Batman the Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be the introduction to this universe's Batman. Apparently, Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash a couple years ago, is directing and said it's still coming, but he can't talk about it right now. Whatever that means. So yeah, almost a third of the projects have been severely delayed and or cancelled, another third has been released and bombed, and the last third is up in the air as to what will happen with them. Real great start, James. Even though Creature Commandos was the official start of the new universe, let's be real, it was Superman. Superman was the big grand entrance to the all-new rebooted DC universe, and well, it didn't go quite as expected. Let's all cut the shit and finally admit it. It was not financially successful, and it needed to be. If Superman was a huge hit, we would be going full steam ahead with casting announcements, new movies, etc. Then, right after Superman, we had Peacemaker Season 2, which if you want to know my thoughts on it, there's a previous video on my channel where I talk about it. But the quick Cliff Notes version is, I hated it. It's funny because Peacemaker Season 2 was supposed to set up the whole future of where this DC universe is going, that being the planet Salvation from the comics. Except when you read interviews with Gunn after the finale aired, apparently it's not based on the comic run and won't even have Darkseid as the big bad main villain.
What the fuck?
So then what's the fucking point? Why would you ignore a classic DC villain and then use a comic run but not based on it? Whatever. I'm not even gonna try to rationalize it. This whole universe reboot has been a shit show from the start. First of all, how come we don't have movies or even fucking casting announcements for Batman and Wonder Woman yet? They're the holy trinity of superheroes. That should have been the first thing to start with. Gunn should have came right out the gate and said, hey, here's the new Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and here's the casting for them. That way, the audience wouldn't be confused and be thinking, well, is Ben Affleck going to still be Batman? What about Robert Pattinson's Batman? What about him? Is Gal Gadot still Wonder Woman? If he just would have said, hey, here's the casting, it's a brand new universe, if you don't like it, sorry, it is what it is, we're going forward. And that would be that. Instead, we got a half-assed Superman movie with way too many characters in it, a Batman movie that's still in the works, and let's be honest, will probably go through development hell, and a Wonder Woman movie that's supposed to be in the works, but there's no casting or director announcement yet whatsoever. Oh, and let's not forget we have The Batman Part 2 by Matt Reeves coming out, which apparently is still set in its own separate universe from Gunn's, which makes it even more confusing for audiences. At this point, should The Batman Part 2 even happen? I'm genuinely asking. By the time it comes out, it would be 5 years since the first, and who knows what will be of DC after this whole Warner Brothers up for sale thing going on. Do we really need or want two separate Batman universes going on side by side? Why not make Pattinson's Batman the DCU's Batman? It seems like a great fix. He's already there. People love his casting, and it would be easy since you've already established his world and characters. Some casting is already done, world building already done. Boom, there you go. Gunn is the wrong person for Batman, let's be real. His humor didn't work for Superman, and it definitely won't work for Batman. If he does do a separate new Batman, he needs to stay far away from it as possible, which won't be the case. That leads me to my final point, and that being Warner Bros. Up for sale. It's no secret now that Warner Bros. Is looking to be bought by someone, whether it be as a whole studio or broken up into smaller parts where one studio gets this, one company gets this, another gets this, etc. A big question people have is, what will happen to DC Studios? Will the new owner be friendly and allow it to continue, or will they see the numbers that it's currently doing and pull the plug? You saw a brief clip earlier of Gunn near the beginning where he mentions it might not be him going forward. Here's a little bit longer portion of that clip for context.
Absolutely. So one thing I've been really curious about is you've referenced things like Peacemaker Season 2 and Lanterns setting up different threads and arcs. How far do these arcs go? Like, do they culminate in Man of Tomorrow, or can we expect them to go further than that?
Yes. They definitely go significantly further than Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So now, whether or not that'll be me that's able to fulfill that promise depends on a lot of things in life. But yeah.
I'm shocked.
You can definitely tell by the way Gunn is acting that, something is going on behind the scenes. He is clearly concerned about what's going to happen. One possible scenario is that WB is sold and Gunn stays on and everything proceeds as planned. Another is maybe he takes a little demotion and sticks around to movie making and creating, and someone else comes in above him to run the studio. That, I think, would be the best bet. As of right now, Gunn is running a studio, directing movies, writing projects, overseeing other projects, and doing all the other stuff involved with the studio and movie making. That is way too much for a single person to be doing. It would be best for him to take a step back and focus on less. That way, he can devote more time to doing the best he possibly can and not be bogged down all the time. As to what will happen with DC Studios after the buyout, nobody knows for certain, but I do know one thing. The real make or break move as to if this universe and Gunn are going to survive is Superman Man of Tomorrow. If Man of Tomorrow is a huge success and makes a shitload of money, then I think Gunn and his universe would be alright. But if it performs like Superman, or does even worse, then Gunn is out. Next year, we have Lanterns, Supergirl, and Clayface coming, which will be interesting to see how they play out since these are the first projects in this universe that didn't have Gunn as a creative lead during the process. I personally don't see any of them being mega successes, but stranger things have happened in the past, so we'll see. If they are all good and do decent numbers, then that'll be a huge plus, but Superman will be the big one. I think Gunn is feeling the pressure, especially when you watch that video. He knows the reception of this universe isn't going as he hoped it would. I was originally going to do two separate videos, one being about what will happen to DC with the WB buyout, and another about what Man of Tomorrow will mean for the universe, but I decided to put them into one video since they kinda go hand in hand. It's not too late for Gunn to turn this thing around, but that would mean making big changes. For one, cast Batman and Wonder Woman and make them the priority over everything else. Another would be, like I mentioned earlier, Gunn should step down. He's bitten off more than he can chew and it's blowing up in his face. His humor and style doesn't work for 95% of DC characters. He wants to be involved with every little project, which I get with him being the studio president, but then again, what he thinks and wants might not be the best fit for certain characters. If this universe is going to succeed, I believe Gunn, regardless of the WB buyout, needs to step down or be replaced because this is clearly not working, and looking ahead for the future, it doesn't look any better as of right now.